What's going on, Gary?
I'm confused, Rodney.
Look who stopped over.
Well, that's what I'm confused about.
Yeah.
When I see you sitting with somebody, you're usually sitting with Ginger, your dog.
I know. I left the back door unlocked.
Did you get some magic sprinkly dust and turn Ginger into Mr. Harper? You sprinkled it on her head?
Yes, it's pixie dust.
Pixie dust?
Pixie dust.
Some gold dust from the track?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Who do you got first?
What?
Who's in first?
Well, you. Donnie Bethhauser. Doesn't he work for you at the track?
Yeah, that's my starter. That's our chief starter.
All right, Donnie.
Did I just butcher his last name?
Sort of.
Bethhauser?
There you go.
Bethhauser. Okay. Carrie Austin. All right. I got 3 on my profile, 10 total here, and we know there's none through the group because that deal is no longer. So
I thought you were going to have dinner with Mark Zuckerberg and figure that out.
Yeah, I wish they'd round up Elon and have Elon just whip his ass. weren't they going to fight? Elon wanted to fight him a while back.
Oh my goodness!
Right? Elon wanted to fight him. There's Shannon. Shannon says, "Hey guys,
what's up, Shannon?"
Shannon Wise, Brandon Ash. Hey, Brandon.
Right on.
Yeah.
Shannon's getting the truck ready for Brian next week.
She is. She's getting the truck ready. Whitney Williams is watching. Hi, Whitney.
Hey, Whitney.
Hey, Mr. Harper's watching. He's right there.
Yep, he's watching.
Yeah, I'm watching. All right.
He's right there. Oh, well. That's a fellow's name I can't even pronounce. All right. We got a couple comments here. Whitney says, "Hi guys." Brandon says, "Get that car done for next weekend, Gary."
That's it.
I would need like Brandon Sandlin and Chad to come over.
Yeah, talk about the A team. That's the A team right
there. Man, you ain't kidding.
Yeah, just hire him for 80 hours. Because I know that thing behind you is not a live picture. It's an old picture from January.
What year? What year?
I see Scott Linker watching. I see Josh Maddox watching.
Josh, cool. Scott Linker, Marvin Jenkins. Marvin has to be getting close on his car.
Yeah,
real close.
Yeah.
Josh, well, we'll see Josh next week, hopefully at Flying H.
Yep.
Him and Chopper and Tim and the rest of them guys. Jim Robinson.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, yep. Josh says, "Yes, sir." All right. Scott says, "What's up, boys?" Scott, you need to go get you a small tire car purchased. You got a few days to do it.
Right. Yeah, let's have it ready by Friday.
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, we got testing on Friday.
Yeah.
We get you.
Yeah. It's got a few days.
There you go. Yeah, we'll talk about that here directly. You ready to kick it off?
Yep.
Hey, all right. So just circling back to what we talked about last week. So we're just want to pause for a second and talk about Flip Williams and just some things that are just a little update. Still in touch with the family, keeping direct contact with Whitney, and we just want to say a few things now. So you probably saw that they're going to have one service for all three. And so that service will be on Friday, May 3rd at 10 a.m. They're still working out the details of the where they're going to hold it. They're expecting 3,000 people. And so that's going to take a minute. Just talking to a couple of platforms around here, churches, big areas to be able to hold that many. So just pause on that. But their goal is Friday, May 3rd, 10 a.m. To have that service. So even myself, Gary, we've reached out to her separately on the side. Hey, we'd love to have a Flip-O-Matic shirt. Do you have any Flip-O-Matic shirts available? And I just talking with her, she's got that same type of love from the community. So they're making a special run of flip shirts that they're going to produce. Mariah and Chris are kind of taking the lead on that at a dirt road. And so they're making shirts and they're also making stickers. And so as soon as those come available, you can get with Mariah and Chris and get some. I know I got my order in. I know Gary's got his order in. I'm sure Mr. Harper
I'm in.
get some. And but anyway, we just want to give a shout out today on that. That's something that's going on behind the scenes, and they'll get them ready. And then just talking about the services for a second, they're not going to have a visitation before the service. They're looking at doing a visitation this week. And what the visitation will be is on the property, the house to the south, 10 a.m. to 5, or just whenever you want to go out. Because I know myself, if I get off at 5, I'll try to get out there at 4:15. But, if it's 6 o'clock, they're not going to kick me out or anything like that. And so they just want to pass that word along. It'd be a good time to socialize, just do a little visit with the family or anybody that shows up. And, a bench racing session will break out if you got a bunch of racers sitting around. And so just want to talk about that real quick. And she also just wanted to mention, like, the property right now is under 24-hour surveillance. I think she got some feedback just from that, worried about the shop and that sort of thing. But nothing's in jeopardy there, no issues. So we just want to talk about that. She did tell me a couple stories, just want to share. That, they had a couple wins, if you will. They found Flip's helmet in the rubble, if you will, and it wasn't damaged. And so, of course, it had a little smoke burn, so they're going to get that cleaned up. And then because she said, 90% of the stuff that they found there was either burnt, water drenched, or smoke damaged. And so, and then there a few days later too, they came back, just kind of looking around, and they found the Neely. And the Neely, if everybody knows the story about that with Neil Chance. And so Flip was able to get one of those Neelys passed on to him, and that was a big deal. I remember on episode 17, Gary, when we did the Neely, his show, the Neely was in the background there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to talk about that, and then she wanted to pass on to the team that here on the community, like, her heart actually goes out to everyone too, because Flip was all of our friends. He did all of our transmissions, and it's just a sore loss there to the community. And Gary, if you can, go ahead and pull up that picture there. Just the remembering. They did start a Facebook there, remembering with Paula Williams, Philip, and Melissa Williams. And so you can go there, and if you want to post anything or get any love, that sort of thing, any kind of communication, that's available now. They put that out there. And then also, some good feedback too. The email is working. The Flipomatic1320@gmail, it is working. She's had over 50 separate emails and communication to people. She just wants to give a shout out that everybody's being real considerate and and understands, to be human. Let's get first things first, and of course the services on Friday. But just want to pass that along. They did have a pretty tough week. Of course, Monday they buried with her grandma, Meemaw, if you will, and so they went through that service, and then of course the next day, they're making arrangements and everything, and so they're in the final stage of this. And so just some feedback. The page is set. Friday, May 3rd at 10 a.m. is going to be the services. We're going to have visitation all week from 10 a.m. till when everybody leaves. Still don't need any food. And then in the background, they're getting some shirts and some stickers made just to kind of, help out with Memorial Fund. And also, I just want one myself, and
Yep.
I'll donate. So I just want to share that, and keep sharing the love with her and the family. They really appreciate it. And we'll just kind of take this one day at a time. Myself personally, I talked to her. I told her, you're doing a great job. This is so tough for that family, and just keep your head up. And all of us racers, I know anybody that knows the family, that, Whitney can reach out. Whitney and that whole family can reach out to anyone in the racing community if they need a hand, need something. And so we're here for them. So that's that finishes up that part of it. Gary, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, you said it perfect. That's great information Whitney is passing along, and you covered it. You hit it.
Well, I got one thing to add, and that was we were originally planning on doing a Friday day test from 2 to 8. We've now pushed that back 4 to 10. So that way everybody can come to the service and make arrangements for that, and then still get their cars to the track and kind of keep doing what we've been doing, which is just trying to go day to day and get through this hard time. So the test and tune will get pushed back 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock in the evening, because it was just a little bit tight with the service at 10. So that way guys aren't rushed and they feel like they can still get their time in, and that's the least that we could do for Flip.
Hey man, thanks for doing that. I was actually thinking
Right on.
that is awesome. That is awesome. All right. Pull that comment from Whitney right there.
Okay, I will. This is Al from Titans. This
Yeah.
is our sympathies to all of Flip's people. Like, Flip knew a lot of people, and a lot of people knew Flip.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Missouri.
Whitney says, thank you all for the messages. They don't go unnoticed. We love to hear the stories. My heart goes out to all of the racing community too. That's from Whitney Williams.
Yeah. That's good. They had a slogan. Yeah, there it is. That's how they're taking this.
Yep. She says, we are living 1/4 mile at a time over here.
Yeah.
That's
I love
great.
that. When I was talking to her, I said, hey, just one day at a time, you get through this. And she said that. She goes, no, it's 1/4 mile at a time. I was like, oh man, that's good. So that's good stuff. No. Good.
Yep. Scooter Rick. Hi guys. Hello, Scooter. Nick Roberts says, what's up, guys?
Hey, Nick.
Yep.
I know Nick's going to be ready in a couple of weeks. The No Prep series there.
No Prep.
Yeah.
Right on. Keep
Chris
the front end
watching. Yeah, no kidding. Put some blocks on that and the weight her down. We have another issue to talk about. I'm just gonna go ahead and post up what he shared. Our friend Chris at Wichita Dyno, we've known for a little while, but he made this post yesterday. Unfortunately, I'm recovering from having a stroke. I'm doing a lot better, but I'm unable to work at the shop. I'm so thankful to still be here and have the support from all my friends and family. Special thank you to everyone putting on the event, and we're going to talk about that right here after this. Thank you to everyone for putting on the event, and thank you to Mid America for letting us use the track. Anything helps so we can keep the shop going and bills paid. Let's make this a fun day for everyone. Come hang out and let's run some cars and eat some burgers and some fries.
Yeah, that sounds like a great day.
Yep. So, and Mr. Harper can probably have some input with this on how this got put together. Test and Tune and Burger Burn supporting Chris Levitt of Wichita Dyno, Sunday, May 5th, 2024, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. $35 tech card, $10 spectator. Gates open at 9:30. Gates close at 5. Pretty much an all day. Just wear your stuff out. There'll be a 50-50 raffle. 1 ticket for $5. 5 tickets for $20.
Nice.
A $5 meal deal. You get a burger, chips, soda, and a cookie. All proceeds will go to the Levitt family. So, Mr. Harper and Mid America Dragway, everybody would probably want to say thank you for your help in getting this put together also.
Well, Tony reached out to Gary and asked her what the availability would be for a test and tune for doing this. And of course, my thoughts were, if we're going to radial race the day before, then we got Sunday open. The weather looked like it was going to be fairly decent, so it made sense. They're actually going to be supplying the food side, so no French fries. You got to get your French fries on Saturday.
Okay.
So you're saying I got to stop at McDonald's in the Turnpike to get my French fries?
Ouch!
Yeah.
You can get them on Saturday. You can get your fries on Saturday.
Yeah, the day before.
The day before. This is
Okay.
Sunday. Don't you be using that M word around them. So yeah, we basically looked at it and said, you know what, it just made sense. Obviously Chris is a supporter of the racetrack. I've met up with him a couple of times, and he's been out to the track. He's a great supporter. We never like to see anything happen to a car guy, especially a car guy that's so involved. Our big thing was our owner Chris was 100% behind whatever we can do to try to help the situation out. You know, we don't want to wait and be, you know, the guy that reacts last. We want to be the guy that reacts first and tries to get ahead of this thing. He's got a long road ahead of him for you know, trying to get better and get back to normal. As somebody who's always fighting something health-wise, I get it. I spoke to him last night on the phone for quite a bit, and you know, he showed his gratitude to us for helping it. I'm like, hey, Tony and your friends are the ones that decided to do this. So it'll be a great day. We're just out there to have some fun. I know that you know, we talked about, you were joking about Nick keeping the front end down. He's putting a set of bag boy tires on that thing, and he's going to try to keep the front end down on Sunday. So
that.
there's going to be a couple fast cars out there doing some testing. Probably realistically, what we'll do is we'll keep one lane as close to radio prepped as we can, you know, and the other lane will be for kind of slicks and everybody else. And as usual, you know, Chris said, you know, whatever we got to do to give these guys a good racetrack, I want to get behind it. So
There you go.
we'll take care of it. I mean, that's what we do. Our claim to fame at the current moment is we outwork everybody and we try to make sure the track's better. So
There you go.
we'll just keep plugging along, but please come out, support it, buy those raffle tickets. Goes to a good cause. I know that I've hit up quite a few of our guys that are always commenting out, doing testing, and said, hey, perfect opportunity to come out, do some testing, get on a good racetrack, and see what happens. So that'll be a really cool deal. And I've got some employees that are going to come out and donate some time, and
Nice.
so and he's got some family members that want to come out and help and participate. So overall, I think it's gonna be a great day. So let's see what we can do, and let's pack the place.
Nice.
Yep. Everybody.
Just talking through real quick. I know you said Tony, but I think you meant Troy Aves.
Troy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Troy, sorry.
I do the same thing.
Oh God, I've got 800 people that I deal with on a daily, and you're right, it was Troy. So absolutely. So
Yep.
anyway, let's see what we can do.
Awesome.
And I had mentioned before, we was talking about Chris being a sponsor and stuff, a small town. We'll get to some of that after a while too, where we never see him because he's always working. He's always in the shop. He's always working on somebody's stuff. So I said, he's like Batman. We know he's there. We just don't see him. Well, now Batman needs a little help.
Yeah.
So we all, as a racing community, need to step up and help. And I stopped at his place the other day after work. I picked me up a Wichita Dino shirt
There you go.
in the back.
Yeah, looking good.
Got me a long sleeve Wichita
Heck
Dino.
yeah.
Oh, Wichita Dino.
Whoop,
Long
whoop.
sleeve. And for them cold track days, a nice hoodie.
Man, keep them coming.
October, baby.
Wichita Dino.
Nice. Great
So-
job, Gary.
Yes. And you had a video, you showed the stuff that you got to support.
Sure.
When you whipped in there the other day, and I went in there Tuesday after work and picked up some stuff. I believe they got another shipment of stuff coming. So go in there and buy some stuff, buy some shirts, hoodies. He's got hats, I think koozies.
Right on.
Support him and buy some merch from him.
And we'll be doing some collection buckets at the track as well. So definitely great cause, good guy.
And I think I seen where somebody said they will have stuff at the track at this testing day. They'll be selling some merch and stuff also. So
Okay.
I think I seen that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Are you talking about on Friday?
no, on this support day.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. I think there's going to be some merch there. I think I saw somebody said.
Cool.
So yeah, come help out. I'm going to come hang out and I'm going to buy some of them raffle tickets.
I am too. That's what I have my eye on. I'm pretty good at those raffle tickets.
Well, I think I won the last one I entered.
Carl Jones buys any raffle ticket. You can almost play on betting you're playing for second.
I don't know if I got Carl Jones money.
Well, he won't be there this weekend, so you're good. You're good. You'll be all right.
Chris says we will bring what we have.
Oh,
Right
that'd be
on.
great. Sell him out. So that's it right now. Just put it out there. We're selling him out. Whatever he brings, it's going to happen. Just like the concessions, we did in the past. Make the announcement now. It's going to happen.
Whitney says, we love the Love It family. I've known them all my life. We will try our hardest to be there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Andrew backs up Chris. He says, I'll be bringing all the merch we have left to the track.
Sounds good.
Super.
Here it is, the community coming together. That's what it's all about.
Yes, it's totally doable, and we need to do it.
What else you got, Gary?
Oh, I was moving my screen here. Well, let me catch his comment. Chris says, y'all have are in tears. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's what it's all about.
we're gonna do our best to help you out, Chris.
Yeah, like I said, it's a hand up, not a handout. What you've done for this community, and you're down, but you're not out, and so this is not a problem.
Yeah, he's always there supporting in some way, and now it's our turn to support him.
You bet.
Yep. All right. Ready to roll on, Rodney?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What is this?
Look at it. Oh my goodness.
There's Larry. He popped up. That's Larry. Let's look at it, Larry. He's looking at them slicks like,
oh my goodness, what happened?
What in the hell?
What in the heck is Larry looking at?
Man.
So, like I talked about, we're on here with Blake Halsley. Going to go check out the Flying H. And, it looked like Harper gave us a couple weekends off on the schedule to run some bracket racing. And so we'll probably sneak on down to Odessa and hit that streetcar takeover on PBRs. And then, that No Prep Kings is coming. Plus that whole series of Limited Street is around slicks. And so, what you see there is some help out from, Nick and the boys at Phil and Nick at Mel Hamilton there. Went in there and asked them if we can do something. And then what I didn't talk about is that thing underneath on the bottom of the cart, because, we got a little no prep converter as well. And so we'll see how it plays out. But, I haven't been on the slick game since 2000 and what? I think it's a zero. It was 2009, 2010.
Right.
So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I need to call Mincer as well, or just loosen all the shocks up. Maybe I have to.
So you're saying that's a little loosey goosey converter in that box there?
That's what I'm saying. So, but just want to try it out. And see what happens. We'll see. Might be one and done. Who knows? But,
maybe experiment gone bad.
Hey, Nick Roberts says, I'm calling you out first round at the no prep.
Oh,
man, there it is. You heard it here first.
It is.
The shots fired.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yep. There we go. Yep. How many Mississippis he's going to give me?
Right.
Tell him that works both ways. He can roll in there this weekend on a set of radio.
There you go.
Give it a shot.
Yep. Tighten the front end down, put all the weight up there, and put it on kill. Those PBRs or even those Hoosier drag radials. Right on. But yeah, that's what's going on there. So we'll get them mounted and we'll get to going. And it was so funny too, just a little off story real quick. I was coming in and Tanner called me. He's like, hey, I just saw the picture on Facebook from Saturday. I'm like, yeah. He goes, are we going to No Prep Kings? And I was like, yeah. Like, oh, okay. Okay. Well, I go, and I don't want you up there getting Murder Nova's autograph either. We got to figure this thing out. Like,
oh man, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Your crew chief has to get his info from your Facebook posts.
There you go. Right.
He has to keep his schedule straight from your videos.
Yeah. Well, he told me too. He goes, well, I was already going with Skyler. We were already going. We already got hotels and tickets. So I'm like, well, you can't go get your autograph with Murder Nova.
Yeah.
So,
now you got to go to work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny.
Man, that's good. That'll be a different and fun experience.
Yeah, go check it out. It's a bucket list deal, See how it goes.
Yep. And we'll be there, what, two 2-3 weeks beforehand to 2 weeks before.
2 weeks. Yeah,
2
check
weeks
out
before.
the facility, like they were talking about there and see the different parking and, get the tour and just check it out,
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm excited to go.
definitely.
All right. I want to show you this.
Okay.
If you see this is a transmission cooler for sale from Chris Whitted. What's the first thing you think of when you see that? I mean, I think I look at it, I think he doesn't need it. Why would what would make you think that he wouldn't need it? What would
Is he going pro charger or something?
Wow, that's what I was thinking.
What's going on here? What are you telling me? Yeah.
Well, if we're a news information and somewhat inaccurate storytelling here, I would just guess he's going to a pro charger.
Oh, we can make up anything.
That's right. It's our show. We can do what we want.
And if you heard it on the internet, it's true.
Yes.
Especially around this crowd.
So I guess we'll have to. Oh, we got a comment. Let's see what's going on.
We probably need to send away for the decoder puzzle kit to make sure that that's the right info. But based on my experience in the Cracker Jack box secret decoder, that would definitely say pro charger.
Yes.
I think I see a big box on the very left there by that chair or table or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right there.
I see that. That could say pro charger.
That box may not be big enough.
Well, maybe that's like the oil or something.
Yeah.
Cooler return.
Exactly.
We need to send this to the lab for some CSI. This picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
See if this picture's been tampered with.
Shane says not everyone stays limp wristed. Oh man, that's funny. Turbo guys.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's good stuff, Shane.
That's awesome.
Limp wristed.
This shouldn't be legal.
JR Sandlin is watching. Hey, JR.
What's
And
going
Brendan.
on?
Brendan and JR. Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it. He's going pro charger.
Official right here. Chris Whitted is going pro charger.
It's official. We just need to have his wife get some shirts made now. I mean,
pro charger.
That's a lot. Yeah, pro charger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And if we're wrong, well, he should come on here and tell us.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you defend yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, you have the opportunity. It's an open platform.
Exactly. Where are you at right now? Come on.
All right. Moving on. Last week at Kansas International Dragway was a heads up deal, some index and all that. So what we got here is Mr. 580, Charles McPherson.
Yeah.
First win of the year. Feels great. Big thanks to my family for all the support.
Yeah.
And it looks like all his fans showed up.
Oh, I see that. When I saw this doesn't surprise me. Like, come on, Charles, with Mr. 580, of course he would. You know what I mean? This guy is deadly. You know what I mean? That's just awesome.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's like, I'm coming. It's early in the year. I'm starting to win. Better be ready.
He just dusted it off. He get a little tickle on. He's got a whole entourage there. God, what's he got? 20.
I see Tanner and Jamie and.
Oh, he just fed his earnings.
Did you hear that? He had to win to break even to get in the gate. Oh my goodness!
I see Tanner and Jamie Blueball and Billy Page there.
Page,
that one.
That's awesome.
Yep. That was last weekend. Also, Jesse James and that really cool Chevy 2. He was doing a little testing, like not so much heavy testing, but just testing stuff, like testing the bump, testing the brakes, testing to make sure like stuff functions correctly. And that is a really cool looking car.
Yeah, it's a nice car. That's an LS turbo deal, right?
I'm not sure. I would suspect.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
He's according to Shane, he's limp wristed.
It's a limp wristed LS. You're saying
with the turbo? Oh my goodness!
Dang it, Shane. Picking on us.
Yeah, he is.
Last weekend was also the circuit, that little weekend deal,
Right.
little drag and drive deal. Chris Paget, that's Chris and his little trailer hooked up there. He ran in that deal. I think he did good the first day, and then I think he had transmission trouble that took him out.
Okay.
So and he's waiting on our converter. And I reached out to him to see if he was going to race this coming weekend, but he's just not going to get stuff fixed in time, or he would. He's going to totally support that deal. He said 100%.
Yeah, he gave me a heads up that he really, really wanted to be involved. He just couldn't get parts and pieces back, and we told him we understand. So he'll come out and eat a burger and some of them fries that you never seem to get a hold of, and it'll be all good.
Yeah, them fries. I'm starting to wonder if they're even real.
Oh, they exist. It's like the key Morel if you got to catch it just right, but they do exist.
Yeah,
I've seen a picture of them. Also in that circuit deal was Eric Kuhn.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to Eric if he's going to come do the drag and drive this weekend. He has a trip planned out of town. So I said, we'll change it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it went from there, but
Always next weekend for the trip.
that's right. You can always do a trip, but this car is so cool.
So cool. That's a super nice car.
I would almost trade all my stuff for that cool car. Man.
Well, it made its first 4-second lap at Matt about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We did that test session. So and it had more left. They were scrambling right to come up with a bigger tune-up. So they ran out of up arrow. I don't know how that happens, but maybe that's a limp wristed thing or something. I'm not sure.
Well, it sounded like it needs more early arrow.
Earlier.
It's a little soft early, but
so it was limp wristed out of the gate. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Okay.
Tim Webb is watching. Hey, Tim, and Chris Maybrier, the boss, is watching. Man,
Boss.
He's keeping me under control. Right? That's all it is. He's just double checking to make sure that I don't, go postal or go out on a limb or
The real bosses watches. I see Mrs. Harper.
Well, so all of the bosses are watching.
Again, which is why I'm here, because I got left with nothing. So
I haven't seen Tiffany Putnam watching, so I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
I can go wild. She might be out trimming it with the scissors a little bit. Got the tape measure.
Yeah, the weather was terrible at about 2:00 today, and then all of a sudden it just took off, and it was a beautiful day. So it's a good possibility she's out in the yard for sure.
Yep, she might be.
And Gary, for real, let's raise our glass for Mrs. Harper. She lost her mom this week. She's in Tennessee, dealing with funeral things with her family. So if you see us, Mrs. Harper and your family, we definitely want to share some love for you. Treat you like family.
Yep.
So do what you got to do, and then safe travels back.
But get here before Saturday.
Get back.
Yeah.
Troy says, wasn't this Eric's wife's high school car? I think it was.
Man, that's awesome.
I think so. Shane says, Chris verified his staying limp wristed team limp wrist. Well, okay. That could be a trick. You never know.
I got a question. If you got a single turbo, or you have one limp wrist, and if you got twin turbos, you got two limp wrists.
You're double limp wristed. I'm gonna stick with the Pro Charger story. I think Chris is being sneaky.
Okay, it's official. You've heard
it's official until it's on this page.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, I'm just going with the official. What we see.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm wrong, right?
Well,
yeah.
It wouldn't be like any of the other news that you see on the TV every night.
Exactly.
50-50 shot, baby. I mean,
even if he wasn't and he saw this, he went and bought one.
He's definitely not going boating. So you're right in one sense. He's not going boating. So
Justin has a boat for sale.
Yeah. Pay off that Pro Charger.
His driver has a boat for sale. Shane says, unfortunately, you guys are wrong.
Oh,
I don't know, man. I think they're all playing a trick. They're all in cahoots on this.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
What a weird word, in cahoots. I seen this yesterday from Ozark. They had radio prep test session. The tire drag was screaming, we're looking for some threes today. And I kept watching their page over and over. I didn't see anything where anybody ran threes. So
we'd have
the
seen
clock is ticking.
We'd have seen it.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Just wanted to put that out there. The clock is
the
ticking.
air wasn't very good over there yesterday either. So I mean, you can't. The racetrack is a big factor in that deal, but you got to have the air to back it up. I mean,
yeah,
we've had that conversation before. The difference between 4 flat and 410 is a mile. When that's 1,500 feet of air, and being able to get all of it, and sometimes it's just not possible.
Yeah, and between us and them, there was 400 tornadoes yesterday. So
ridiculous.
The weather was total crap.
I took a bunch of my time Saturday and was dealing with guys in Iowa. A bunch of our racers. One of our racers' girlfriends completely got her house leveled. That her house was in the town of Minden that got just wiped. And a couple of other racers that we deal with on a regular basis got really, really close. So it's definitely no fun. And the sad part is I've got friends all over the country. So when something like that happens in an area, I mean, I'm just freak out immediately. Like, oh my God, I got to call this guy. I got to call this guy. I start sending all these messages out. And then Gary, of course, she's in Tennessee dealing with family. And so she's like, well, what about this person? Have you heard from him? Has he checked in? And so it just becomes a real major deal. And it just goes to show that our racing family is as tight as it is. That it doesn't matter where you are in the country. When people know who you are, people, make plans to meet up with people and do things and make events. And, you guys got your friends down in Texas you go hang out with, and up north. And, I go see the Iowa guys from time to time. And that deal went right through Nebraska into Iowa and took out, like I said, a couple of people's homes and Mike Zollner, one of our racers, the stuff, his neighbor's house got tagged, stuff flying around in his yard. So yeah, it's a scary deal for sure.
Yep. Tornadoes are dumb.
Well, I came from the land of earthquakes. At least you didn't know they were coming. The tornadoes kind of scared you, like it's headed right for us, and I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
At least the earthquake, you just wake up in the middle of the night going, well, it's an earthquake.
So hang on.
I think I take the earthquakes over the tornadoes.
Here's a shot heard around the world right here.
Brendan says, I believe Mr. Harper is going to give the first small tire 3-second pass around here.
There you go.
We're hoping that's the plan. I mean, we're loaded up for bear. We had real fortunate deal this last weekend when we did get to race. Had 230 entries for our big bracket race. A big percentage of those were dragsters. Boy, they laid some serious rubber down. We are going to bring out our track scraper 2000 and knock the big stuff off so we can keep it tight. But I think we got an incredible base now, which we didn't have earlier in the year for testing. So we're getting close. If the weather gods stay with us and maybe we get that tailwind instead of that headwind, I think we'll be all right.
Right on.
Weather.
Did you tell me that you paid out $10,000 last weekend?
Yeah. So in our bracket racing series, it was a $7,500 to win race, and unfortunately, XRP had a big $10,000 to win race scheduled, basically the same weekend. So we knew that a percentage of our hitters were going to go there because obviously it was really honestly a better race. It had more opportunities to win more money and for a little bit less entry fee. And unfortunately, I've got to play the safe role and try to just make sure we cover the nut, so to speak, or what we had in it for payout. And so when that race got canceled down there, we knew that we had an influx of drivers coming this way. So we knew they wanted to race for 10 grand. They knew they wanted to race for 10 grand. So we put the challenge up and said, if we can get 140 entries, that we will bump the thing up and pay 10 grand instead of 7,500. And I think we ended up at like 138. And my boss is on the other end of this phone, so we got to be careful. But I said, hell with it, we're going for it. So we did it. And then we jumped up to 142 the moment we pulled the trigger and said it's happening.
There you go.
We got the support that we needed. We were able to do the deal. It was $10,000 to win the final. There was a deal made, and so everybody got paid. Fantastic race. The next day we came in, we lost. We had the Saturday version was 141 entries in the one class and 89 in the other, and then we had our juniors. The Sunday event dropped to 119 and 72 cars, and we did one-time trial. Started at 9 a.m. and we was passing out money at 6 o'clock at night. So it was a great day. Had a lot of fun. It was terrible weather Friday and Saturday. It was cold, windy, miserable. At one point in the fourth round, I sprayed the racetrack 100% PJ, just like I do for a radial race, to get the dragsters down, because track temp got down into the low 50s. And but at 6 cars, one of our guys went 437 with a 1 on a 437. So the track stayed with us and was able to get the deal done. A lot of hard work from all of our employees. That's just a long deal. You do all day Friday testing, ran till like 11 o'clock at night, turned around, came back in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, finished up at 1:30 at night, back at 9 o'clock in the morning, going again and out of there by 6:30. So it makes for a long weekend, but a great weekend. So this next couple of weekends now, we've got some big events that we'll talk about coming up, but I'm looking forward to it. We're finally getting into that, what I call the meat of the season, where the weather should start cooperating. We should start getting those 70, 80 degree days. They're a lot easier to manage than the 50 degree days. And you sell a lot more beer when it's 80 degrees than when it's wet. So, and it's easier to put butts in the seats, because nobody wants to go out there and freeze their tail off, to watch racing. So we're hoping we get some good weather and we'll get her done.
Nice.
I seen this you guys posted of the winners and runners up. And what I saw was interesting about it was the locations. How far some of these people was coming to your track. This Gambler winner, Logan Diggs, Carthage, Missouri, that's Joplin area, 175 miles, not super far. The runner-up come from Pueblo, 474 miles.
Wow.
No Box Gambler winner came from Tulsa, 124 miles. On the 20th, the Top Bull winner come from Wakarusa. That's the Topeka area, 179 miles. The Bottom Bulb winner, Sean Kalazowski-ish, if that's how you say it. But Longmont, that's north of Denver, 600 miles.
Dang.
The runner-up came from Fowler, Colorado, 439 miles. The junior drags from McMurtry, we know who, McMurtry out of Oklahoma there. And high roller winner, Bottom Bulb from Ottawa, Kansas, 180 miles.
Man, they're driving
it was kind of, I'm going to say it's not necessarily disappointing, because it's not the right word, but I'd like to see more of our local guys that come and run these events. But I think what happens is the dollar bill goes up, the entry fee goes up, and some of the big hitters come in, and some of our other guys who, honestly, if you look at the packages, could definitely hang with these guys, but they don't come. We had maybe 15 of our regulars, and the rest of it was out of town guys. Colorado's obviously got Bandimere, who's closed. Some of those guys that came last year and did very well, and I've known them for years. I raced against most of them, or the younger ones. They've heard stories, so they decided to come and show up. And Pueblo had I can't even tell you, there was 9 or 10 cars plus all the entries plus a bunch of the guys from Denver, and they took up half of one side of the pit area. It was all Colorado.
Wow.
And so, yeah, absolutely. We would love the fact that they came in to support us. And we look forward to having them back Labor Day weekend, because we'll do this same format race then. And it'll be the same deal. I mean, we laid out a payout structure that went all the way to paying $15,000. So, and had money paying back. So I think the total payouts, Gary had it calculated it out, was like $44,000 this last week.
Yeah.
So,
On the chance to win $10,000, what was the entry for that? Just out of curiosity.
$300 got you doubled. $150 got you a single entry. So, or $160. If you doubled, we took a little money off. So for $300, you'd have 2 shots at the money. For $160, you'd have 1 shot at the money. So $160 for 10 grand and it paid back quarters, eighths. So, I mean, you had to go some rounds, 10-round race.
Yeah.
It's no joke. And it got cutthroat at the end, but that's the way it should be. I mean, that's, we turned it into a practice tree race with cars. We've got several guys that have texted me and said, it's one thing to do track prep for radial cars, and you're just trying to get everything you can get, for the most part. Consistency a lot of times goes out the window. I work on it to try to make it consistent, even for our radial stuff. But for the bracket racing side, the consistency is everything. And several racers, local and out of town guys, said their 60 foots moved 3 to 4 thousandths all day long in both lanes. And so for me, that's a win. I mean, that's when me and my team have done what we were basically billed to do as holding the race. Make sure the track stays consistent. Let the racers battle it out. And in certain cases, it was just flat nasty. I mean, it was good racing, and that's what I like to see. I like to see the tight racing because it shows the hard work that the guys have put in to making it all happen.
Yep,
good.
That's good stuff. I listened to your use on the radio the other day. I didn't listen to that, but I listened to the replay of it, and
yeah, we had an opportunity. We're starting to do a little bit more advertising and trying to get out there. I'm personally not a limelight guy. I'm not a big fan of it, but at the same token, if it helps put butts in the seats, I'll go for standing on the corner in a chicken suit. I mean, whatever we got to do. I mean, I'm
all right.
trying to make a living here. So the opportunity came up. They said, "Hey, you want to come by the radio station and give us a little preview or a little heads up of what's going on?" I said, "Absolutely." And of course, the DJ, typical, doesn't know anything about drag racing at all. So we're trying to give him a little education at the same time. This guy's thinking we're out here racing circle track cars, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, not so much." But it's okay.
He called it Speedway, didn't he?
Yeah,
Mid America Speedway.
Yeah, and it's I probably should have corrected it right then and there, but we had a conversation afterwards, and we're going to be on again next month. We'll have that opportunity corrected. We're actually going to try to get him out to the racetrack, and I'm going to strap him in something and have somebody take him.
There you go.
And then I'll just ruin his life.
Yeah.
And then from then on, he'll remember that it's Dragway and that this was the best fun you could have with your clothes on. So
there you go.
That's what we're shooting for. So we're going to do several of these throughout the year. It's a great opportunity for us to maybe reach a different target audience. Our worst habit is shows like this. We're talking about racing to racers. There's not a whole lot of people that are going to find this and tune into it if they're not a race fan already.
Right.
We've got to get that guy that's looking for something to do with his family on a Saturday afternoon that's maybe never even been to the drag strip before. So we're looking for opportunities for meeting those target people. And, we're passing out tickets by the handful, just hoping somebody will come, somebody will see something that they just can't live without, and then they'll be back. And let's face it, we all got hooked on this sport at one point in life, whether it was early age, whether it was family, whether it was friends, whether you came out to the track at 16 in high school and went, "Hey, this looks like fun." At some point, everybody got hooked. And that's what we got to do. We got to start setting some hooks. I'm not a fisherman, but I'm going fishing for butts and seats.
There you go.
Right. I was going to back up a little bit and catch some of this other stuff before we get too deep into some more track stuff. NPK that just happened. Rodney,
Yeah.
you and I talked about this a little bit, and we actually, this falls in line with sportsmanship that we talked about a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And,
I watched this play out live. And so what Gary's talking about is, same format as Mid America has. They have a second chance race now in NPK. In case you guys didn't know, this is the second week of season 7. And so if you lose the first round, you go into the second chance race. And so what's going on here, as Gary's showing you, is at the pulling into the water box, Scott Taylor, Scooter, pulls in, car running, and Paige Coughlin starts her car up, and the blower dry shaft broke right there. It broke. And so Booster GT saw what was going on, went over to Paige, kind of looked in the car, talked to her for a second, went over to Scott. He's in the burnout, and he said, "Hey, her blower drive broke. What do you want to do? You want to take the win, or do you want to, we can put her on a 30-minute clock right now. Like, I'll put her on a clock." And he goes, "Yeah, let's put her on a clock." So she went back to her pit. They put her on a clock. They ran the main event. They ran like 7-0 as it was going on. And she changed that blower drive out. Her and her team came up and ended up racing. And, Scott Taylor took the win. And so he was confident. But he said, "I came here to race," and so this is a great story right here. And so we're just talking about that on a few shows back, Gary, where, just talking about sportsmanship, and you're in the lane. Yeah. What are you going to do? So this was another perfect opportunity here to talk through that.
Yep. That was a good example right there of how that plays out.
Yeah, for sure.
And Scott had I don't know if you've seen it earlier today. He had a little reel where he talked about it also. And I think it was like, while it was happening, I think they did the reel. He was waiting for her and he was talking, "This is what's going down. I'm giving her 30 minutes, la, la, la." So it was a really cool video. It was like, it was in the moment. That's when it was going on. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sportsmanship. Yep.
And to talk through that was for 10,000. Just that pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is a $40,000 winner.
Yeah.
Murder Nova wins the big pot.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did. Their MPK at there in North Carolina. I wasn't going to bring this up to you, Gary, but now that you brought it up, Murder Nova went 6 seasons, never won a race, right?
Man.
6 seasons. What color was the car when he was racing that? Never won a race.
It was black. It was not white.
It would be the not white part. And
now it's white. What happened, Gary?
Man,
second
winner, chicken dinner.
I knew as soon as you posted that, I had to give you that was funny.
He hauled home the big stack.
He did, man. And him and Phantom, I follow these cats a lot, and they put out great YouTube videos and stuff. And when I was over in Germany, I couldn't. What was on TV was all in German, so I grabbed a couple of these of their 2 or 3 hour videos working on the engine and stuff. And I'm just a fan of Murder Nova and Phantom, and they actually we got to race with them a while back in the day, like 16, 17. They had a little small tire deal. We got to race with them at Kid. So great guys.
Yeah,
glad to see them get the win.
Yep, that's cool. See different people win that stuff. It's not Ryan Martin, not Dave or whoever. Kai Kelly and them winning all the time.
Right. No, that's awesome.
And even somebody different last week. Jim Howe won last week. So there's some different cats stepping up.
It is, and they it's the same deal. You hear Pro Charger's dead and that sort of thing, screw blower, this, that, and the other, and there you go.
I look at that picture. If that camera on that extender comes undone, it's gonna get eaten right there. Right in. Yep. Oh, here's a comment. Who's this? Probably Shane. No, it's Scooter Rick. Drag racing is the only sport that your opponent will loan you parts to try to beat them. That's right.
That's the truth.
Absolutely. I've raced many of my parts and had to fix a lot of, I built race cars for years. So every time somebody get in a jam, a lot of times they'd run over and grab me. And I don't know how many times you end up fixing something. And then 4 rounds later, you look over and that's that same car again. And you know what? You wish them the best of luck because burnout to turnout, I ain't got any friends. The rest of the time we're all family.
There you go. I like that. Burnout to turnout.
Yep.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it. It's well, take it. I don't get to do it anymore. I get to live vicariously through you guys.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Neil Chance, Neil
Yeah.
Chance Racing Converters, and Ron Rhodes. Neil Chance Racing Converters says, we just got this from our good friend and satisfied customer, Ron Rhodes. Congratulations, Ron. We are thrilled and know this is still not the end of what you can do. And I believe that slip said 408.
Yep.
Is that right, Rod? I think
Yep.
so.
Sure did.
Man.
102.60.
Whew.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
it's like there's no end in sight for those cars.
Technology is incredible.
But if the racers weren't pushing what they can and want to do, then
Sure.
the parts suppliers like Marty, they wouldn't need to push what their products can do. But the racer keeps pushing it.
Well, it's a chicken or the egg situation.
Right.
The further the car technology gets, the faster the cars go, then the better the track's got to be.
Mm.
Then you create a better track. Now it can hold more power. Now you got to go find more power, or you got to figure out ways to get that power to the ground, which obviously the torque converter is one of the biggest things between the power and getting it to the ground. The shock manufacturers, all of these guys are benefiting from, the pursuit of the time slip. And that's been happening since the 50s when the timing system was invented. Once you put a clock on it, guy's going to want to go faster.
Yeah.
That's just the way that deal is. And so, it's really pushed the envelope. And it's one of the reasons why we're working so hard to produce a great, surface, is because the guys that have spent that kind of money and effort to try to go fast have that opportunity. We don't always get it right. I mean, there's certain things. I mean, we've had the conversation, man. It's such a fine line between the perfect pass and everything went right, or man, it almost made it, but it didn't. It knocked the tire off. And so, I think it's great because guys are pushing to go further, and the manufacturers are working with you guys, the racers, to say, let's tweak this, let's tweak that. We think we can gain a little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, you guys have had people on the show from the 90s, and it was like, what? You can go 550s, and now we're talking, the 3-second zone is probably, it's within reach. Whether we get there this year or not, it may take a few more, but just the idea of being able to even have it in the conversation is real exciting. And that's the part that the manufacturers can sink their teeth in and get behind it, because it is the pursuit, the constant pursuit for going faster. I mean, I know Rodney here's had multiple, I just want to get this. I just want to get this. I just want to get this. I've only known the guy a year and a half, and we've gotten 3 or 4 goals. And that's why you keep doing it. You keep doing it because, okay, I got here. Now what's the next step? And guys like, Marty, they're innovators. They're trying to help you guys get to where the next level is. And so that's awesome that the manufacturers are stepping up for sure.
Yeah. And those advancements from those professionals like Ron Rhodes and them guys that run that, those advancements also help us little guys. It trickles down eventually, and we get a benefit from it too.
Yeah, well, they may not want to tell you at first what happened, but eventually it gets back,
Yeah.
And that's, but that's also the, like Shane's pointed out several times, that's the part that kind of hurts some of the guys that aren't able to keep up with the pursuit, and that's where you create those loops or gaps between the fastest cars and the not so fast cars. I mean, it's not necessarily effort. Sometimes it's just the ability and combinations. So it's a fun time to be in drag racing. I mean, there's a lot of things going. I watched Wes Buck's show the other day, and he was talking about all the different types of drag racing. Like he said, we spent so many years trying to duplicate what NASCAR's doing, duplicate what IndyCar did, tried to fluff it up. Hey man, we're just grassroots drag racers, just want to get there first. And so that's a cool deal to see that the sport is growing and it's strong. We would like to get those spectators out there and get the people involved and get more cars. But right now the sport is pretty healthy, and stuff like this, it's exciting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Neil Chance Racing Converters gave a shout out to Mo Hall. Congrats to Mo Hall and team for his win at Battle of the Thrones in Pro 275. Does everybody in this Battle of the Thrones, is there a chair for everybody, or are they just photoing with each chair? Does everybody win a chair?
I believe there is. Just talking to some interviews like Stevie Fast and stuff, he was talking about how he's got a chair in his office, and then or a chair in the break.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think they take it because it seems like it's you see people with those chairs are different, and I think that's just the part of the swag that Duck brings to it. With that
chair, and there's the big hammer on the floor by his right leg. Neil Chance shouted out to Kenny Hubbard too. Congrats to Kenny Hubbard and his team for winning Battle of the Thrones in LDR, like a king in his chair.
There you go.
So cool.
Yeah. It's cool to see this car, come along too, where, it was a nitrous car back then he raced X275 and now he's racing LDR. It's just cool to see this transformation car is rolling.
Yep. And irrelevant to us, but in a class that's getting blown to pieces by an import. But our local friend and racer Cameron Marsoff,
right,
races with these guys,
right,
and
Chopper,
yeah. So Q1, these numbers are crazy. Q1 a 419. This is X275. Q2 a 415, and it put him number 3. And he says chipping away. That's from a 19 to a 15 is a pretty big chip, but it got better if you call it chipping. Then he goes 409, another chip.
Yeah.
Started at a 419, 415, 409, X275 8th mile record, 409 with a 2, and then does some more chipping. X275 legal world record, 403. This car will go 3s.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah. And the parity is awesome. I mean, we just had Ron Rhodes up there, right? And it's a big block Chevy nitrous. Then you got this J2Z motor with the turbo. I mean, it's just incredible. The parity of that, because you're talking about a 408, a 403. That's just rolling.
Chipping away. He was chipping.
That's more like hitting it with a sledgehammer.
He was chipping giant numbers.
Yeah.
That's just, it's out of our league and relevance here, but that's pretty wild to watch that class. And, and Cameron races them guys and Chopper and
well,
what a crazy class.
Circle back to Hubbard, he was going 80s, 88, 85, and he was going 186, 187. And so you look at White Rice here going 184 at 03, and so that's just saying, as far as not saying, I'm sure Hubbard there's got a little 60 on him, it sounds like, because he's only got a few mile an hour there. So
yeah, this is 184. Hasn't this car been upper 80s for a mile an hour? Hasn't it been? I think it's been 87, 88, 89. Yeah. But when you do that, you got to pass inspection.
Yeah.
They did that 100% X275 class legal inspection after our record setting pass 4033 at 184.
That's
Man,
awesome. Well, there you go. Just talking about the sport being healthy. I mean, that's just it right there. And we know our engine guy, Stefan down there, he loves these motors.
Yeah. Stefan Brown. Yeah. Yeah. He's a huge 2JZ fan. Yeah. That's just incredible stuff to watch.
Yeah. What's not to love about the combo though? The things that
it's cool.
Bred as a race engine from the factory.
Right.
And all they did made it breathe a little better.
Yeah. Here's a comment here.
There you go.
Tim Webb says Kenny Hubbard was 9.75 in the 60 foot.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, that's awesome. That's some Tim Webb 60 foot there. Woo, man. Right, Tim. We got Mid America Dragway Battle on the Plains Midwest No Prep Series flyer. I'll just bring it up. It's in a few weeks. It's coming up pretty quick. I think Nick, is this what Nick called you out on, Rodney?
I don't know. Is this it right here?
I might have been. I don't know.
You guys are up north.
Yeah, we'll be. I think this is our takeover for us.
Yeah, it will be in Kansas City.
It is.
Yep. But that's coming up real quick. I just wanted to throw that up. And Saturday, May 11th, go to that. We'll be in Kansas City, but
small tire, big tire, true street, daily driver, tailgate, 750, 650, 580, 580. I mean, this got Charles McPherson written all over right here.
Yeah.
That's easy money. Yeah.
Just go ahead and put his name on that check.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. That's coming up pretty quick. I snagged this this DOT truck flyer for this weekend, Saturday, May 4th, featuring a new class DOT truck brought to you by Skyview Race Cars. That's Josh and his crew down there. And it looks like, is that Brian's truck in there?
Yeah.
Looks like, yep.
And Chris Wilson helped us out with that too. He's kind of one that got the ball rolling. Him and Brian were going back and forth, and I think there was a you call him, no, you call him, no, you call him. About the same time, I got a message from both of them literally within like 3 minutes of each other, and I'm like, okay, I know Brian, I'll call Chris first. So I called Chris, and he's like, hey, we'd like to do this, and I said, is this what Brian's hitting me up about? Yes. So then I'm like, okay, let me call him back and tell him I'm working on it. So back and forth, and DOT truck. They're going to follow our drag and drive / true street class that we're going to do. All be on the same day. Basically, what's going to happen is we'll open the staging lanes get them running at 11 o'clock. The cars in the drag and drive deal and the pickups will all make one. Basically, test it. Go back to their trailers. 10 minutes. We leave for a drive. We're driving out to Seven Clans Casino and back. There'll be a lead car. There'll be a follow-up car. The trucks are going to basically follow in suit with the cars that have already been lined out. And then when you come back to the track strip, you pull straight into the lanes, and we'll do a chip draw, and we'll run those classes. So basically, while they're on their drive, you guys and PMRA will go through probably a round of rotation on your guys' time trials. So basically what will happen is we'll have the track prepped. They'll come out, they'll do their deal. I'll do a little cleanup, a fresh spray. The no bar bikes will go, then small tire like we normally do, and then feed in through our regular classes. When those guys return to the racetrack, we'll get them set up on their chip draw, we'll get them pulled into the lanes and go racing. The thought behind it was if you needed to go to the trailer after you're tested to make an adjustment, make the adjustment, fill it up full of fuel, do whatever you need to do. When you come back, you're not allowed to add fuel. You're not allowed to do anything other than basically you need to do some tuning stuff with a laptop or air pressure, and that's about it. We're not bringing tools to the lanes. We're not doing anything crazy. It's supposed to be a street-driven vehicle, so bringing it off the street, let it cool down a couple minutes, and let's go racing. So I think it's going to be an exciting deal. We're going to try it out. We don't know what to expect. I've done these deals before, and they've been a total hit. I've done them, and they've been a flop. So Velcro, whatever you put on the wall, throw it up there. If it sticks, great. If it don't, well, then let's figure out why it didn't stick. Is it an adjustment on our end? Is it something that we could do different to maybe make it go? I'm not the guy that walks away from something on a one hit wonder and that just totally flopped. It takes a big flop for me to just go, yeah, we're just not doing that.
Right.
But if it can be tweaked, we're gonna look at that. I'm an input guy. Ultimately, I make the final decision on how things are run. But both of these classes have had input from racers and input from people. that want to, see this thing go. Cliff's helping us on the True Street side of things. They brought funding to the table. So, it's one of those deals where, they wanted to do something. I said, sure, let's figure out how to pay for it. And they did. And so now we give it a shot. We give it a try. We'll see how it goes. So as long as everything goes the way I think it's planned, should go great. So the truck deals, I mean, when Brian brought the truck out late last year, let's face it, the things are just impressive as all hell. And I know there's some down there running the streets of Oklahoma City and Tulsa that need to shake out on the racetrack. So let's get them up here. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what comes up. We'll go from there.
Yep. Brian's truck is super impressive. That's really cool. Awesome.
Well, I think any of this new technology stuff, the Hemi cars, the Copo stuff, the Ford stuff, the Coyote platform. I mean, seriously, these things are damn near race cars from the factory with a little bit of and a little bit of work. And they're amazing. And I know nothing about them other than I could drive one, but I
smash the gas pedal.
Yeah, I couldn't tune it. Don't even ask me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're cool.
Can we run diesel trucks in this?
Yeah, as long as they're fit the tire rule and they got to make the drive. That's the problem. Most of the diesels that have been outfitted for drag racing, they couldn't make the drive just the way that they're set up. Okay. So it's totally it's a wide open platform. Honestly, we didn't try to make a bunch of rules. The one rule there is it's a 10.0 cap, quarter mile, and partly because the pickups and the later model versions can run all the way to 10 flat without a roll bar, without anything. Factory airbags hooked up, factory seatbelt, driving jacket, and a helmet, and you can go to 10 flat. So that's why we put the cutoff to 10 flat. It wasn't that we were trying to, keep somebody out or create a situation there. We just felt like there needs to be something to keep the street side of it more street versus more race. So that's why it's got a 10.0 cap. The drag and drive class or True Street, there is no cap. It's run what you brung and hope you brung enough.
Yep. Cliff had posted this first place True Street little plaque trophy / plaque for the True Street Wild class.
Right on.
So it's going to show that a little bit.
Yeah, the theory behind this is we're going to try to do a wild and a mild, but we don't know what we've got till we get there. So we'll basically reevaluate once everybody gets to the facility. We're asking that all of the True Street guys get there by 9:30 so we can get them through tech, verify that everybody fits within what the rules were set, and then be ready to make that run at 11 o'clock. And then we'll decide if there's a need for two separate classes, or if it's just going to be a one and go. And hopefully there's plenty of opportunity for two classes. The parity would be nice. There's a lot of things that go on in the grandstands, but it doesn't matter if you're running 480 side by side or 6 flat side by side racing, side by side racing.
Yeah.
So if we could create some more of that, that's an opportunity for somebody to get into something. And you want that kid in the grandstands to see his favorite car, whether it's a white Mustang or something of a different color. But you like that kid to feel like my guy has a chance. I'm trying to root for him, and my guy's got to have a chance. And when somebody walks in by 10 car lengths to 330, it's just not as fun to watch racing. So we'd like to break it up, but we got to see who shows up first.
Right on.
Yep, that's right. Titans is coming shortly.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. They put this out just here right before 7 o'clock. It says, "Attention, Titans racers and fans. The rain has certainly screwed things up the last 2 weekends, but it can't go on forever. It's countdown time for Titans at 10-5 Series race number 2 at Mid America Dragway near Arkansas City, Kansas, May 17th and 18th. 2024 will be the days to be there. The Harpers and Maybriars are throwing out the kitchen sink on this deal, looking to lay claim to that first in the threes bounty and the bragging rights that go with it. Stay tuned here as we bring you more info about this race coming up soon. That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a great race.
Yeah, it will be. And yeah, we are looking forward to it. The bar for me is set as high as I can raise the bar every time I open the gate. There's never I'm going to work harder this weekend than last weekend. Just don't have that mentality. But at the same token, this one means a little bit more. It really does. We've all circled the calendar and said this was the opportunity for us to shine. It's also an opportunity to flop. So you hope that you've done your homework. You hope that you've put your best foot forward. And we're really looking forward to it. Al and the guys have been great to work with. Since the cancellation last year and the stuff with the sanctioning body, and we all know what took place, and we're all past it. And that's the fantastic part of us being able to make the decision to go WDRA to help us with stuff like this. And we think that it's the beneficiary of the racer and us as the racetrack making that move. And it allows us to do things like this race where everybody that's an out-of-town racer carries a license from a different sanctioning body. Before we weren't allowed to accept them, and it just put us in a bind. And I'm not going to put my ownership in a bad spot by doing something that I know going in is just absolutely wrong. So we're going to move forward with this. I think it's going to be a great event. If it remotely does anything at all, count on it just being a staple in our schedule. It will be one of the first events that we schedule every single year. It's a great series. Al and his guys work hard to put it on. From a financial standpoint, it's never really worked well at Mid America. So we're hoping that turns around. But part of it's always been either a weather situation or something's always been weird with the deal. And I think this time we're far enough out in front of the deal that we can put all the pieces together to make it work. We know as a facility, we can get through the event without a problem. We know what we need to do on our side. We've got plenty of spare parts and cones and sensors, and we're ready for whatever they throw at us. But hopefully they keep the front ends on the ground and just keep going fast. And I'm looking forward to it. It's always challenging on the track's part to just put on a good show and have a good product. And that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah. And the racers that want to race the Titans group with them all year, they got to be itching to get on the track. With the first race getting squashed with the rain, it's race number 2, but it's the first of the series to get kicked off. So it's got to be a big deal.
Sure. Yeah. And we think that, we've kind of done this open arms, we've let them come in. They can come in early and park. It's a situation where we're going to have a test day. The fast cars, if you will, are going to have 2 sessions prepped before each session on Friday. So they'll have the opportunity to get on the same racetrack that they're going to have the opportunity to be on Saturday. And we know that the smaller facilities that the Titans go to don't always have that opportunity. They don't have maybe the resources, or just, don't have the time or the whereabouts to go ahead and do it. But to me, testing is more important than racing in most cases. If you're trying to learn what the track will hold, you better have a good racetrack. So we're going to basically open that test session up. It's open to everybody. It's not just for Titans cars. It's going to be on our schedule as an open test and tune. But it will have 2 sessions where we will shut everything down, clean everything up, do what we need to do, and then bring the big boys up and let them make a couple of laps with some good prep, and then let's see what we can do. If the 3-second run doesn't count on Friday, so it's but at least it gets you the information And boy, you talk about buildup. Somebody runs in the 3s on Friday night. Man, I can't wait to see what happens on Saturday.
Right on.
We will be looking forward to that for sure. I have placed my glue order, and I'll have like 8 barrels on hand. And I ain't planning on using it, but we're gonna do what we got to do to get this deal done. So it's not billed as a radial prep series. They basically, Al and them, they call it a good prep series, but yeah, I don't know when to stop, so I'm going for it.
Yep.
I'm a racer, but I'm a fan. I love hearing this stuff, and I just want to be there.
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Harper, you sent us some pictures the other day of some concrete foundation stud pole, light pole fixture stuff.
Yeah. So we got a couple things going on there that's really, really cool. Kyle Kilhorn Concrete came out with Justin Spielman, and everybody knows Justin Spielman and Son Seed. They do a lot of stuff for both Kansas International and us. You can see the light poles there in the picture. They're like 35 foot tall. We ended up with 10 poles, all the lights, which is 50, and all the wire, but the rest of the poles didn't get delivered yet. And there's going to be a hang up. We know for a fact we are not going to see poles till probably August. So what we're trying to do is I'm scrambling around. We've got some poles on site that Jim had purchased years ago that we're going to use in our shutdown area. I've got the 10 new poles that are going up. 5 of the foundations are done. Unfortunately, Kyle recommended, because they're like 4.5 foot deep, 5 foot deep, that we wait 2 weeks to put the poles up instead of 1, just because it's a lot of surface area. The poles are rated for 100-mile-an-hour wind. And this weekend proved we can get that out there.
Yeah.
So it's probably smart if I take the professional opinion at this point and go, you know what, an extra week won't kill us. What we are doing, those poles will go up. There's one every 135 feet between there and the scoreboard. One light will be pointed on the racetrack. One light will be pointed on the return road. So that'll give us some return road light. And then the poles on the track that are on the left side right now, we had put some pole lights up on there temporarily. We're going to put some up that are a little bit more permanent. And then the back of the water box, we'll see some new lighting. Some new lighting's going in the staging. And last but not least, we're finally going to get the pit area lighting fixed and finished. We've got 3 lights that are up right now that are non-existent. And then we have 7 poles in the way back pit area that never got finished. And I'll be honest, we weren't parking cars down there very often. And now it seems like we're parking cars there every weekend. So tribute to the support for Mid America and the people that are coming out to use the facility and race with us. And we appreciate that. So least we can do is get them some lights so they don't run anybody over. So our biggest issue right now, guys, is just the weather and timing and work. It takes a lot of time to put some of this stuff together. Putting the lights up, it's a matter of taking the 4x4, mounting the light to it. Now that 4x4 needs to get mounted to the pole. That's all done 30 feet in the air. I'm not that guy. I got 2 guys that are willing to do it, Donnie being one of them. And Jace will go up there. And then there's a lot of mounting and then wiring. And so it's a lot involved. I mean, you wouldn't think about it, but that's not what we do for a living. We run racetracks. So we do it probably a little slower than a professional team that would come in, but we're able to get it done a little more economical than if we just picked up the phone and called a pro. And I didn't win the lottery this weekend, so I'm still not calling that pro. So that's our plan in the next week or so to get that done. And then before the Titans race, and possibly even the no prep, we'll get those lights on the right side of the track. And then what happens is we end up with an LED light that has 175-foot width light span. We put a light pole every 67 feet, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, for every 67 feet to the scoreboards. So in theory, we ought to have some better lighting. We enjoy running at night. Our fans enjoy us running at night. Racers don't like racing in the dark. I don't know why. Nick Roberts and his buddies don't have a problem with it, but track racer guys like a little bit of light. So
like that light.
We're okay with that. And our biggest problem is if we do have an oil down, our cleanup really makes it tough when it's nighttime.
Sure.
So we want to get some light on those messes so we can get them 100% cleaned up and make sure that we're sending guys down a safe surface. So a lot of stuff going on. It's just small bites.
Yeah.
I'd love to have it all done at once. That was another one of them spots on the return road. We actually had leftover concrete from the foundations. So I'm like, hey, put that in buckets, put some water on it. Let's run down the top end. And
Good idea.
So we just started sealing off holes and stuff that were part of that deal that hadn't gotten repaired yet. We're still looking to raise some money there to finish that off. I've got about a 12 to 15 foot path that's really good all the way from the end. You start getting away from the grass side, you could still run into some potholes and stuff. That was two of the worst ones that we had, and we got them patched up. So as we do more foundations, I'm sure we'll end up robbing some of that mud that's left over and doing that very thing. But it's just a process. There's 4 of us out there doing it, and 4 guys can get a lot of stuff done, but some of these projects just eat you alive time-wise.
Sure.
So we'll keep moving forward, though. So it's a awesome day to be involved with Mid America Dragway.
Chris Wilson says, "You ready for these Oklahoma boys, Gary? I can't wait to watch some of those slow Mustangs."
Oh, dang.
We're ready, boss. We are really ready.
Wow.
Woo!
I do believe shots have been fired over the bow on that deal for sure. Limp wristed and all.
Dang.
Woo!
Woo.
Double limp wrist.
Yeah.
Go get him, Chris.
The question is how many of them Oklahoma boys are we going to break stuff because they ain't been on a track like this in a while?
There you go.
Shots fired back.
That's right. Bring all your spare parts.
There you go.
And even the ones you don't think you could need.
Yes. We'll get into a couple of these classes. Heads up series, the Outlaw. It's pretty much bring it.
Yeah.
Door cars, pro mods, funny cars, altereds, any size tire, engine diaper required. No dragsters, 8th mile, 4/10 tree, 2 qualifiers, laddered pairs, must have 7 or more cars for full payout.
Yeah. So basically on that deal there, obviously we seen the situation that developed last week. We've always had whatever our flyer was, it was considered guaranteed payout. If it got put in print, it's guaranteed. One thing that we did do is the 7 cars ends up being, I've now taken in enough money to pay out the rest of the spots because Mr. Sandlin has always stepped up and sponsored the winner on that class. So it's not really fair to him or to anybody to have one car show up and hand over the big check. And, so we got to have some cars in that deal. We'll run it, with 4 cars, no problem. The issue was I didn't want somebody to be able to show up and all of a sudden you're in the semis already. And that situation happened a couple times last year. And it's just, if we're going to do the semis payout and the runner-up payout, then we need to have the 7 cars. Otherwise, it'll pay $2,000 to win no matter what. It's posted. So that's kind of how that deal works. The only 2 classes that are that way is Outlaw and Small Tire. Everything else is full payout. 3 cars show up. Unfortunately for Chris, we ran these races for 5 years and never once made money. Sometimes it's not about money. Sometimes it's about building a program. And we're getting to that point where that program is starting to now pay dividends. It's had a lot more corporate support this year, or I should say marketing partners. a lot of racers that are involved in these two categories have stepped up big and helped us out. And they want to see it make it work. Thanks to this podcast that basically pulled this class out of the trash can. I mean, it was going away, and there wasn't really much I could do to save it because, when somebody shows you the books and goes, I've done this now 3 times, 4 times a year for 5 years, and I've never even gotten close to breaking even. This thing needs to go away. And I said, well, give me one more shot. And so it's starting to pay off. The support from the racers, the support from hey, let's go sell at the snack bar, and did. Perfect. You know what? That needs to be a goal every race, because if it is, then it helps support it. It's nobody realizes, but just the payout side that we come up with is about $11,000 on the Heads Up series. Now you're going to go throw $3,500 worth of glue on it, and I've got 20 hours of employee track prep before you guys ever get there. So now all of a sudden, to run the event, I've got big payroll numbers, a power bill, a $1,500 a month trash bill. It doesn't take a lot to add up that some of these programs got to start making it. And this one really has pulled itself out of the cellar. We're excited. We don't want radio racing to go away. I don't. And I think that more and more tracks are getting away from it because of the costs involved. And I feel like that the costs are worth it because the racing is great. I mean, you go to a good quality radio race and you've seen something. And our guys here work really hard to put on a good show and get those parts manufacturers that we talked about earlier. You're out going to go spend $3,000 on a new converter to get 500s. You can't do that on your bracket racing track. It's just my bracket racing prep is damn good. You ain't putting a radio car down it. It's just not the same.
Right.
So that's the big thing for us is everybody gets upset when nobody shows up, and we get that. But we've got to figure out a way through scheduling that we're not stepping on each other, that we're looking things like Titan series, other series that are out there. We got a couple of tracks in our area that they don't even look at the schedules from other racetracks. They just pull the trigger and go, yep, this is what we're going to do this weekend. And if anybody knows me, I spent a week putting the schedule together in December, looking at everything that was out there and wanted to get our stuff out there first, hopefully keeping people from stepping on it, because let's face it, how many radio cars are there around here?
Right.
If we could get 16 of them, we're cartwheels. I mean, and so you can't have 3 radio races within an 8-hour window. It's just not going to work. So we're going to do everything we can with those other racetracks and working with Ozarks and some of the guys that are on this Titans deal, keeping the schedule clean. It just works. And so I hope that I didn't get you off too far on the deal, but that's one thing that we will always do. We will pay what is posted, or we wouldn't post it. We would say, well, it's car count dependent. It's this much percentage of payback. It's this, it's that. Whatever those numbers need to be to make it work. I understand. But also understand that, yes, these things need to make money, but I can tell you, opening up the gate, I'm looking for break even most days. I just pray to God I break even, because the marketing partner money helps keep us alive, and it helps pay for salaries. So I'm looking for a break even on the event, and we'll see where we go from there.
Nice.
Yes. Bow, bow, bow.
Great
And
shout out.
we-
Great when we're talking out there.
Mark Westmoreland, he's with us every Sunday. He says, you guys do work hard. Gary Harper, always a great show. Heck yeah.
We try to be.
There's small tire second chance also. It's free entry, $750 to win, $250 to runner up. Lane choice and pairing will be determined by chip draw.
Yeah, and that's a situation too where if that money can be set up however those two guys want it. It doesn't necessarily have to go that way. You guys can split it 50-50, whatever they want to do. We just put that there as as a marker and as what we thought would be the right thing to do. Obviously we've brought it up before, that this class was created to help out some of our guys that are a little bit slower than our fastest guys, but also it's going to be kind of the predecessor to the limited drag radial class that we're going to do next year. And we were able to secure sponsorship through you guys and helping, and Mr. Lopez stepped up, and Chris at Wichita Dino stepped up, and Cameron, and all these guys that pitched in to make this class happen. So it's a 100% sponsored class, and that's why it's a free entry. So it's another opportunity, just like MPK. They see a need for, I don't want to call it filler because it's still a race. There's still money on the line. But, when you're doing small tire stuff, a lot of the reason why guys are behind the 8 ball is they're not testing. They don't have time. They've got businesses. They're busy, So how many times do they get to actually see a radial prep track during the year? So instead of making a bad decision and getting beaten going home first round, we're giving them an opportunity to come out and make some more pulls. And so we wanted to do a free deal. We couldn't do it last year. This year we were able to get in front of it, get some marketing partners to help us with it, and really, move forward. Clayton stepped up with his towing company to help us. I mean, there's just so much support for small tire, and so we really appreciate those guys for sure.
Absolutely.
Small tire gangsters. I'm pretty sure this is Jesse James. He says, can we test behind small tire qualifying and eliminations in a no time fashion if we are on a drag radial?
Yes.
Great. That means we'll see your car, Jesse, hopefully.
Great question. Great answer right here.
Yep. Tim Webb says Second Chance Race builds a program big, in my opinion, from Tim Webb.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's laps. I mean, the difference between where you guys are right now with your program and where you were 5 years ago is you've had the opportunity to make lots of laps.
Yeah.
Some of these guys haven't had those opportunities. They're either new to the game.
Yeah.
They're learning. They're transitioning over from slicks. And the learning curve is huge.
Yeah.
And so laps is where it's at. And it gives me an opportunity to sell a full show. It's not, well, we only had 8 small tire cars, and now we're down to 4, and now we got to wait an hour before we're going to see those 4 again. It'd be nice to basically extend that field again and do it again. And so, again, it's the program. It's the program. It's the show. We are entertainers. Whether we'd like to think it or not, we are in the entertainment business, and anything that we can do to help make your guys' ability to put on a better show easier, that's what we're going to try to do.
Yeah. Well, and that money spends. I when I call the parts company on Monday and say order a new part, they don't ask if it's second chance money or first chance.
Yeah.
They, that's good point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you win the main event, or was that second chance? I don't care.
I love that. That's awesome.
Hey, there's Ron Rich giving us a wave. Hi, Ron.
I've been out on a cruise.
He's probably back in Wichita by now, I think. Yeah, like radial track wise, your track is quickly probably getting a reputation and known as a great radial track. And there's not many around here, Ozark and probably Dallas, like a big triangle here of 3 really good radial tracks in our area. And Flying H might have something. We talked to Blake, and there's going to be a Hooktober deal. It's going to be a radial prep deal and stuff. So it'll fall in line somewhere too. But the
more opportunities and the more tracks that we have, the more cars that will get built, the more people that may be interested in doing it. All of this stuff is chicken or the egg scenario. It's right back to where we were. You're not going to create a radial program for 3 people. But if you got 10 cars in the area and it's scheduled right and you can draw those 10 cars, now it's worth stepping up into the radial game. And there's some guys, and I've reached out, and I tell people all the time, my phone number is available. If you want to know how to do it, I'll tell you how to do it. You may not like the answers because, nobody might have that 25 or 30 hours to go out there and power wash your whole entire racetrack on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then go in and do scraping, and then go out and layer and glue and layer. I mean, you got to realize I'll put $1,000 to $1,500 worth of glue on the track before a car ever sees it, between a bracket prep weekend and a radio prep weekend, with the layering and how things go. But that's why the rubber stays tight. That's why the thing works. So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of effort. But it is nice that we do have that triangle going. Obviously, Enos does it a couple times a year. XRP is not a problem, not afraid to do it. We're obviously willing to do it. And everybody at Ozarks is all in. So yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. We gotta keep this deal going, because it's big in the South. I mean, you go back there, it's everywhere. Well, we're in the Midwest, and it's a lot tougher here. The conditions are tougher. Our weather window is a lot smaller, for a combination of, there's enough sun to make the track work, not hot enough air temperature to make the motor work. And we just don't get those days very often. And when they hit, you better capitalize.
Yep.
That right.
Tim Webb says, if I have a boat and no place to put it on the water, you won't own a boat very long.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
there's
it.
no joke.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to promote the build, not kill the build.
Yeah.
So,
well, and Gary and I were talking about it offline. Since you've been here, let's call it second year now, you guys have raised the bar around here. Every time I talk to you, every time, we message or something, you're showing us pictures of what you've done to improve the facility. And you're always thinking, you understand too that you have multiple customers, where if it's the juniors, bracket guys, heads up guys, no prep guys, whatever it is, they're all your customer internally for the customer externally that comes in to gate to put on a show. And I really appreciate you guys being here.
well, thank you. Yeah, we're trying. I mean, we don't get it right every weekend. Be lying if we said we did. I mean, I made a couple of what I consider to be pretty major boo-boos, over our big bracket racing weekend, with some ladders and some things. And you know what? You just got to move forward and go, hey, I screwed that up. I'll eat it. We'll move forward. And so, yeah, it's a constant work. I mean, I've said it to you guys multiple times. I'm testing too.
Right.
I mean, I've only worked here a year. Like, you don't learn a surface and what all the conditions are for that surface usually to year 3. What I got lucky is these conditions are so close to what I had in Ottawa that the learning curve for me was a lot less, steep. The other scenario was I got a boss that when I went to him and said, I can't do for you what I did for them without better equipment. And so what did he do? He went out and bought the equipment that I had up there. Now it's even better because I'm not trying to learn equipment and trying to learn what its capabilities are and what the reach is for that equipment. Now I can just go to work. And that's the big thing is you got to have the right tools to do the job and the right experience level to know what you can get away with, what you can't get away with. And fortunately, I was able to learn a lot in Ottawa. We didn't do a lot of radial stuff. I did a few of them, and it was light years above anything that they had seen. And well, it ain't been the same since I've been down here. So I get it. And again, it's back to effort. It's back to just having the right tools. And I took the tools away from up there. So they're not there anymore. So without the tools, you can't do the job. So,
yeah.
Yep. Good point.
Yep. Good discussion.
Yes. Since we're talking about the small tire and big tire stuff, let's hit these sponsors that make it happen. Luxury Lawn and Landscape. This is for small tire main event partners. If this has changed, Mr. Harper, let us know. But Luxury Lawn and Landscape.
Yeah, these are the guys that actually we put them as small tire sponsors, but this is where our second chance money came from. So without these marketing partners, second chance race costs you more money. So these guys is what put it together for us.
Nice.
And this whole group here is second chance sponsors also, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. It's Flip-O-Matic Racing Transmissions, Fox Rod Racing, Neil Chance Racing Converters, Fabstar Performance Fabrication, Hall and Assets, and Ultra Color Collision Repair.
Yep.
Second Chance.
And they did all the second chance stuff. And like I said, the money all goes into one pot.
Sure.
But we really wanted to concentrate 2 guys out of each race, out of these 6 that were going to be, on our deal for those days. The Wichita Dyno and Kurt with Luxury, they were just in general for small tire, and they helped us out with a lot of support. So, everybody here is a supporter of that deal. We also have, Booker's Transmission that helps us with our index series. They were big sponsors of 650 when they were running 650,
Right.
Yeah.
and now they've stepped up big time, and they're, Kyle and Rex and all of them are going to come up and run with us, and we wanted them to have a spot, and so, but without them, putting their money into the index side, I maybe can't do what we're doing for small tire, because now I can look at that index deal and go, it's good. It's got support. It's got help. And that's what's awesome is just keeping the ball rolling. We can't, as a track, we would love it if we had enough race cars that it covered the payout with your guys' entry fees.
Sure.
But in certain situations, it's just not possible. So now we got to reach outside the box and see what we can do to get some support for it. And I wish there was a PJ1 sponsorship, because I would be all over those guys. Because it's can I get on a BOGO here and a little buy one get one?
That'd be great.
In case I'd be spraying the hell out of it, but we're spraying the hell out of it anyway, and it's costing us. But that's okay. It's part of it. It's part of it, and the program is growing, and things like the street tire DOT truck class. It was a conversation. It's now a class. The other class of the Dragon Drive, and the whole situation with Cliff and him coming to me and saying, it's a goal of mine. What do you think? Sure, let's try it. Those are things that add to that program. And then I got to thank the PMRA guys too. Chad comes to the table with his own payouts. Each motorcycle pays a gate fee or a tech card price, and we get to keep that. And that's part of what I run the facility on that weekend. So, when you see those 40 or 50 bikes out there racing, take the opportunity to watch them and thank them, because they're helping hold your guys' deal down, because I can at least count on X amount of dollars coming through the gate from their classes. So, that's a big thing. I mean, obviously you guys concentrate on the heads up series type stuff, and that's awesome. But, again, reaching out to all of the different groups, the PMRA is easy to deal with, very supportive. And, Chad was very not sure how to take me when we first met. I get it. And both of our personalities are, wide open throttle. And finally, after, 15 minutes of him seeing how hard I was willing to work on the racetrack, he was good with it. And then it was like, whatever you need from me, you got it. And I said, well, that goes both ways. Whatever you need from me, you got it. And so it's a great partnership. And that's why we're basically, we got rained out on the 5th of April, which really sucks. I put them in the hole for a race. But our theory was we were going to be their first event and their last event. We actually got a double header for them, the last race in October. They're going to race on Saturday when you guys do, and then they're going to get up again on Sunday morning and finish their season out on Sunday.
Ooh.
So be kind of a neat deal.
Yeah.
And so we really look forward to the PMRA being with us as well, because that's another opportunity for us to succeed.
Awesome. Oh, and shout out to Big Tire sponsor, San Leonardo Metal.
Absolutely. JR support that deal had gone away a long time ago, because it's tough to get big tire cars in this area.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see Brandon this weekend. No, he's going to be gone. We're not. Dang it. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, he's got builders. And honestly, that's why him and Chad worked their butts off. was to be able to go back to Builders Brawl, and that's a great opportunity for them. They fit right in that wheelhouse. Anybody that says that they didn't build that car, just look at the pictures.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, a few people know because of the photo shoot, but he came out to the facility on a Thursday night on what I'm going to call a bad bracket prep. Didn't want me to work on it. Didn't want to do much to it. Track only pulled like 150 on a meter. I mean, it wasn't. And I said, "Oh, I can do this." Like that. No. Just leave it. It'll be fine. And went out there and went like, under sub 1 second, 60 foot on the very first hit, and went straight as an arrow right down Broadway. And that was from building it in the garage floor to the racetrack in what, a 4-month window, something ridiculous.
Middle of November.
Yeah, total super team.
Golly.
So I can't wait to get him on the racetrack when it's for real, because he had already short time numbers killed our track record.
Mhm.
I mean, it had low 80, high 70 potential.
Wow.
Just with the little bit of testing they were doing, and they're going to a 3-speed. So yeah, hang on, baby. So the 3-speeds were 10th or 1200s. So I mean, we could be playing with a high 360, low 70 car. So,
Man,
can't wait to see that happen.
comment here.
Not to mention the burnout to 300 feet. I mean,
He's helping you out with the rubber.
Yeah.
who doesn't like a 300-foot burnout?
Sure.
Mark Westmoreland says the Maybriars as owners have been a tremendous blessing for MAD.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have not worked for somebody who's as dedicated at this deal as I am. I know that, man, there's been some tough conversations this off season. Because you know where the checking account's at. The money's not there, and I'm still asking, and they're finding it. And this is basically a Chris and his wife and me and Gary now at this point.
Right.
Jim is kind of stepped back, and so it's really up to us to make it go. And so yeah, there's been a couple conversations that were like, oof, we got to be careful for a little bit, and somehow we're still finding a way. So we're going to keep plugging away, but I have gone without nothing, which is just amazing, because there's a lot of track operators that go to the ownership and say, hey man, we need, new brooms and mops and this and that. And it's, crickets, and that never happens. I mean, it's the part's on the shelf. If the part's not on the shelf, get it on the shelf. We'll figure it out later. And we're really hoping these 3 races kind of get us back on track. Our bracket race did well. Racetracks all over the country, bracket racing doesn't make money. Wrong. It does if you do it right, and if you have the support, and you put on a great show, it will make money. So we need some home runs. I'd take some triples, but some home runs would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then that gets us uprighted and then moving forward. The rain out during the bracket race weekend this weekend, just those are painful, because there's built-in money there. It's made to succeed. And when you don't get to have those races, you didn't lose any money, but you had no opportunity to make money.
Right.
This is a facility that's basically open 26 weekends a year. And when you rain 3 or 4 of them out, you took 3 or 4 opportunities to make money out of your pocket. But the bills don't stop. And that's the part that, a lot of the racers just don't get. The small business owners, they understand that the clock is ticking. I mean, this thing has bills in the off season that people wouldn't even think about, power bill, things like that it just, we have an alarm system out there. There's cameras. That stuff's all costs money to operate every month. So there's a lot of things there that the Maybriars have just knocked it out of the park. And I'm glad that I'm able to kind of take it to the next level, because I am available, every day of the week during the season to make it go.
Cool. This was a good point by Mark. He says maybe Wayne Roberts might test this weekend, seeing where his car is running, I believe.
Yeah.
You see that, Rodney?
Yeah, I did see that too. And, he's been out for a couple of years now after his wreck and got it going. And I know he's getting ready for that Midwest Pro Mod series. So, yeah, that would be a good opportunity for a lot of those guys to come out and do a little testing this weekend to get ready for that. Absolutely.
Yep.
And our quick reminder. So before opening ceremonies for our event this weekend, our next weekend coming up, we're obviously doing something there for Richard Pete. We're going to have Richie's going to bring Dad's car out, sounds like, and possibly do a burnout and do an idle down the racetrack as a tribute. I've asked him to, keep it under control and don't get crazy, but I think that would be a great deal.
Yeah.
And obviously, Flip's going to be on our hearts as well. And what a rough 6 weeks we've had with everything, all these guys that we're losing and people that are getting sick it's a great time for us to get together. And you know what? There's no time for bickering. Now's the time to reach out to your fellow competitor and tell them thanks for coming and supporting the deal, and, burn out to turnout. But after that, and everybody's got to work together as one, because this deal it's not promised.
Right.
And there's no guarantees here. So,
No.
we got to make sure that we're being good competitors, but at the same token, we're just being good people in general. And that's what we try to work for every day is just being good peoples.
Well said.
Well said.
Rodney, you got anything you want to?
Yeah, I do. I got one more thing to add. And
Okay.
as a joke too, I see Chris Whittett's on, so hopefully he got the message that he bought a Pro Charger. So shout out to that with Chris Whitted, because we saw your training cooler for sale. So obviously
That's the only reason why you would sell that, right?
would you put it
Right.
out there? Yeah,
That's right.
but no, Tracy Lynn did reach out to us during the show. Just want to make a comment here. Obviously she does her photography out there, and she's part of the MAD team. And she said, I'm working on a photography fund raiser for Chris and one for the Williams family. $25 a ticket, 200 spots. All proceeds raised go to the families. The winner from each waffle will receive a 1-hour photo session located of their choice within a 50-mile drive radius of Wichita, and then just a cap that you need to use it by Halloween of this year, October 31st. So another nice way to come in. She's putting her special, her love for photography and the racing and what she does well. I got 1,000 pictures that she's taken of us being out there as well. And so I'll definitely bring some money for that and try to get a photo session with her. But just want to put that shout out there as well for everybody. She's just thinking of the community there and how she can raise money and want to do a photo session. So
That's cool. Heck yeah. Jim Robinson giving us a shout out here. What's up, guys? Hey, Jim, we'll see you in a couple weeks at Flying H, Mr. Jim.
We need some of those guys to migrate south for the winter. Come hang out with us. We're going to go support yours.
Yep.
You come help us.
Well, that's the Topeka group there. Jim and Tim and Chopper and them. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
175 miles away, no doubt.
Right. You
Yep.
got guys coming from 600 miles away to
Right.
back a race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Another comment popped in here.
Right on.
Tim
That's just-
says you'll see him next weekend, hopefully. And Tim, hopefully he'll be with you.
There you go.
Right. Lock it in, Tim. We'll see you. Yep. Well, Rod, you got
Just circling back to Whitney, like we said before, and so Flip Services, flipping the family. One funeral, 3 services, Friday, May 3rd, 10 a.m. As soon as we know a location, we'll get the word out to the community. But this week, just stop by the house. You can go out there off County Road where the shop's at, the house on the south there, 10 a.m. till probably till dark. If you show up after 5, I think it's going to be okay. But shirts are getting made, stickers are getting made, help with the donation. And then, of course, Chris's deal is this weekend coming up as well after the big race Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be a busy, busy May.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I've never tried to do 3 heads-up races back to back to back. So we'll see what happens.
You're getting ready.
2 radio preps and a no prep in the middle. So I got a funny our no prep is going to be a little sticky whether we shoot for it or not.
Yeah. Well,
We're going to try to down a little.
It happens.
Maybe I can go borrow some of that sand I hear about, throw it out there and see how it goes. Give that a shot.
Me and Gary got that figured out. We said that there's a light switch in your tower, and it's prep and then no prep.
Yeah. I don't really have an off. I'm sorry, but we are planning on just washing it and brooming it and sending it, and it should be more than good, and will come around pretty darn fast. But I'll be honest, man, the no prep Kings tracks, they're prepped. They're just not prepped the day of, and in certain cases they're even doing that the day of because certain situations have come up. So
sure.
What we're trying to accomplish is just trying to even it out, a little bit for the really, really fast guy versus the guy that's, a little down on power. That's the whole thing with the no prep deal. But we'll see.
Yep.
We're looking at teaser August back of the track. So
heard it here first.
I'm not all the way there on all the details yet. Originally, that was going to be our lupus fundraiser awareness race with Tracy and her daughter and everybody. But the problem is they've just, with all this stuff that's been going on, she's trying to do so much to help everybody else that it's taken away from what they want to do. We may go ahead and do a back of the track race that night, as scheduled, so to speak, and then maybe we do some things where we do a couple collection buckets and do what we can to try to help out the lupus foundations, because that's an important deal to everybody. So we'll see what happens. The key to that is getting the rest of the lighting up, because it's needed. I think. I mean, gosh, it's months away. I mean, compared to where I started, we didn't even have a single brick on the racetrack for the blocks on the top end mid-February. So, I mean, where I've gotten to where it is now in a 2-month window, I think you give me another 2 months and some decent weather, and we can make a lot of stuff happen. But our intentions are to have the full entire racetrack lit every 150 feet with a light pole on the right-hand side behind the barriers, which will light the whole entire shutdown area, and it will allow us to go down there. And now with our big tall walls, we can safely run a top-end race, and I feel comfortable doing it. It would be something that we would probably start at the scoreboard, or certainly there's really smooth concrete, because I spray every time to about 800 feet, and then the concrete or the asphalt becomes a little more porous. That's probably where we'll be creating the starting line, and then transition onto the concrete, which is not going to be as good as running down a regular race. So if these guys say, I can go down a dirt road, well, we go find out you can go down a concrete road that's got some sealer on. So, but yeah, I think the community is looking for it. I think the need is there.
Yeah.
I believe that the quality of, let's call them no prep cars that are built to do that are in the area. And so, we can have the track version, and then we can have the top of the end, back of the track version. And so keep an eye on it. Guys that you're running the no prep deal, come see me and let's talk about it. Because if we get enough guys and enough support, I've already proven I'm all in on whatever comes up. I haven't denied anybody really anything. It's all one way or the other. It's come together. So let's see what we can do. But
don't know if you don't ask, right?
Exclusive. Right. You heard it here first.
Yes. That's a lock.
Mark Westmoreland says, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Harper, for your dedication to make MAD successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Troy says, thanks again for the help setting up the event Sunday to the Harpers and the Maybriars. And by the way, still slower happening, but Putnam, you still going to owe me some tequila.
Oh,
we'll see, Troy.
That's still going on.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. I'm still not scared.
I think it's whoever gets to the racetrack first is going to run that 50.
Yeah. That's worth one bottle of tequila right there. I think I'll supply it. Whoever shows up first, and then you guys can
Whoever
find
gets to the gate first.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll be there for the heads up race, and we'll come back on Sunday and hang out and buy some 50-50 tickets and some hot dogs or burgers and whatever else you got for sale.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they're going to handle all that. We're going to give our concessions people the day off, and they're going to take care of everything. But all the proceeds will go to Chris. So that's an awesome deal.
Yep. Cool.
No, very cool.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll see you guys Friday again. Adjusted schedule 4 to 10 versus 2 to 8. Because I'll be honest, if I can get shook free, I'll be at the services as well. It just depends on where we're at with the track prep. We got that pesky rain coming in again Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
And if it doesn't allow me to do what I need to do the track, well, I'll be stuck getting that stuff done. But by all means, make sure we get as many people there to support that deal as we can. And we'll hopefully see you all Friday evening and have your go fast pants on.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go fast.
Yep.
All right. That's all I got here as well. I think Harper said it best.
Yep. Let's hit our sponsors here real quick. Thank you to Mid America Dragway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, Sandlin Iron and Metal Auto Salvage, and Harry Street Carpet. Thank you for being great partners in 2024.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I think we're caught up on the comments, and we'll cut her off right here.
Sounds good. Appreciate everybody coming on and watching. Great show. Thanks, Mr. Harper, for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Mr. Harper, in Ginger's chair.
Yeah. Hey, it was warm when I got here, so she must have already been here warming it up for me.
No, she's going to come out there and be sniffing that chair like, who is here? What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, she already come out and visited, so
Yeah.
Okay.
all good. I didn't leave bleeding profusely from the ankles, so I'm good.
All right.
Right on.
All right. We'll be back Sunday. We're going to have a recap on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, Sunday is Chris's deal. It'll be all day, so
Right.
be a tight day, but maybe
Come
we'll
back
have
to the recap, and then we can also talk about Titans. Or excuse me, no, that's 2 weekends. We'll be we got one more week for the Titans.
Yep. We get ready for streetcar takeover.
Right. Yeah, so we'll do a recap from Saturday and Sunday.
Yep. And some pictures and stuff. Be a good deal.
Oh yeah.
All right. We're
All
good. I'm out. You guys out?
See ya.
All right. See you guys later.
All right.
Oh, hang on a second. One more comment here. Clint Barnett says, thanks for all you do for us, Gary and Gary Harper. See you Saturday.
Nice.
That's going to be one of our alters. It's going to be in Big Tire.
Yeah, that thing's rolling. I've
Yeah.
seen that lane.
It's a maroon altered. It's
Okay.
got 17-inch slicks on it. It's going to be in Big Tire.
Big tire deal.
Yeah.
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 And it's fast.
Yeah.
Tim Webb just texted me. He says, what time Saturday? I forgot to ask. What
11
Saturday?
11 o'clock first time shot for drag and drive and the pickup trucks. And then we're going to try to do a little bit of prep and hoping to roll out small tire and motorcycle at noon.
Good.
That's the plan.
Gates open at 8, 9?
Yeah, gates will be open at 7:30. And of course you can roll in and park early and do all of our normal deal.
Yeah.
And
What about like staying over from Friday night?
absolutely.
Okay.
As long as you guys come and get all your wristbands and stuff in the morning. The big thing is we don't want people running around in there without a waiver signed.
Sure.
There's just so much insurance stuff going on these days that a waiver and a signed, completed tech card. So those are going to be two things that we are going to be up everybody's tail on this year. Is these cars need to be teched, whether that means somebody comes to your pit area and does it, or you take it to tech. We get it. The cars are easier to come by. You got it on Pro Jacks. It's got the hood off of it. That's the time to come do it. And we'll probably be going around doing that very thing Saturday morning. But we've got to have signed tech cards, got to have signed waivers. It's huge.
Sounds good.
Cool. Pretty standard stuff.
Yep. Let's go.
All right. we'll see everybody at the track next weekend. Everybody better show up.
Sounds
go.
good.
All right. See you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Gary.
Harper.
See
Yes,
ya.
sir. See you, Rodney. See you, Mr. Harper. See you next weekend.
Yes, sir.